Good morning, guys. Welcome to At Home Fitness with Coach A for Sunday, May 10th. It is officially the completion of 8 weeks of at home workouts, specifically since Ohio was shut down by Governor DeWine and we haven't been able to access the gym. One, give yourself a pat on the back for that. That's pretty awesome. You guys were able to stick with it that long. And two, if you did yesterday's workout, Chad, seated, give yourself a pat on the back because you probably can't get up and do it today. If you did it, awesome, great work. I'm going to be doing it today here in probably about an hour or so for the second time. We did it a couple months ago, and it was as terrible as I expected it to be. It was also super uncomfortable the next day. So what we're going to talk about today is recovery from Chad specifically, or really, I mean, it could be from any super heavy, super intensive leg workout, but specifically step ups is what we're going to approach today. If you didn't do it yesterday, you didn't work out at all, give it a try, see what happens. If you are bored with just doing some active recovery today and want to get in some working out, tomorrow will be pretty much a total body workout, something in the 20-minute range. Um, Upper body lifting is probably for the most part okay today. You're going to have to do handstand push-ups in the workout tomorrow, possibly some pulling. So keep that in mind as you're putting together some of your stuff for today, whether you did Chad today, or I'm sorry, yesterday or not. Now, if you did it yesterday, the recovery setup that helped me a lot the first time I went through with this, which I will demonstrate a lot of the moves of in a minute in another video, is as follows. One, get up, get dressed, and walk in the shoes, the clothes you're going to wear to do your active recovery for about 3, 4, maybe 5 minutes. All right, move the arms, move the legs, try and relax, try and loosen up, get the blood flowing, get the body moving, get the heart pumping a little bit. I mean, obviously, we're walking, it's not like you're running, you're not going to be gasping for air. But you are doing some cardiovascular work and making your body warm up. Once we have completed that, I created a series of, I don't want to call them dynamics, we're not doing them explosively or anything like that, but continuous flow, if you will, stretches that I ran through and superset with some jogging to try and get the legs functioning in an appropriate state again. So, as I'm going to demonstrate in a minute, there were 3 things that I did on the stretch. One was shifting back and forth from a hip flexor stretch in a lunging position to a seated back on the heel hamstring stretch and back and forth. A minute each leg before moving on to a one that at least people from the gym know and love. Those of you that can do it, and those of you that can't hate it desperately, is a lizard stretch, pulling the back foot to the butt with the opposite hand. Again, about a minute each side. And then finally a pigeon stretch, trying to relax and sit deep into that stretch. Again, a minute each side. Once I went through and did those, which turns out to be about 6 minutes of stretching, 6 minutes of recovery work, I went on a 2-minute jog. For me, this came out to about a 400-meter 2-minute. All right. In which case you could always go out for a minute, come back for a minute, something along those lines. But base the speed at which you're moving, which shouldn't be very fast at all, to how your legs feel. We're going to go through this 3 times. So 6 minutes of the 6 different stretches, different legs, and then 2 minutes of run, stretch, run, stretch, run. All right. So we're looking at about 8 minutes around, about 24 minutes of work here to help us regain our ability to use your legs for the rest of the week. So when we're doing this, you're probably going to be able to get a little looser as you go on these stretches, round 1, 2, 3. That's fine. Be patient with yourself. If you want to move back and forth on some of these a little bit quicker, that's okay. But let's not rush through them or race through them per se. Same thing with the run. You're probably going to get a little looser, ideally. So it'll be a little easier to do that 2-minute run. If you end up going a little bit further, that's fine. Let's just try and keep it something around the 400-meter marker for most of us. If we're not great at running 400 meters, then obviously that's going to be a little bit shorter. I don't want you pushing yourself just to get into that range. All right. Enjoy the active recovery. If you haven't done Chad, hit it with me today.
All right. Here we go with the stretching routine. So, hip flexor stretch. In this position, I'm going to be stretching the left hip flexor. Left knee's down, left foot is flat behind me, left glute is engaged. I shift that hip forward until I feel the stretching and pulling through the front side of the hip. If I want to work up on that stretch, I can always bring the same side arm up in the air. All right, so that's going to be hip flexor stretch. To opposite leg hamstring stretch, I sit back on the left heel, grab the right foot if I can, get that right knee straight to the hammy. Because I said we're shifting back and forth, we're going to be quote unquote flowing through these. I'm going to move back into that hip flexor stretch before I sit back into the hamstring stretch again. All right, now keep in mind, as you guys are going through that one specifically in terms of the flow, each round is going to get a little bit looser, a little bit easier to do, so that flow is going to gradually start moving back and forth a little more smoothly. So if the first round's pretty sticky and you don't feel like you're flowing, that's fine. All right, now lizard stretch with the opposite heel to butt. Here's what we do. Put ourselves back in a lunge position. I'm going to go with the left foot forward this time so it's easier for you guys to see the right foot coming back. Now, it's a tricky position to get into. Once we're in the position, I'm going to get a big stretch through the right side, or the same as the heel getting pulled in, quad and hip flexor there. The trick here is I have to get my left hand, knee forward, to the opposite foot behind me. A lot of times people get stuck out in front and they just can't get that foot far enough up in order to grab. What I like to do is sit back on this knee a little bit, pull the heel in and up, and then fall forward into position. So I'm getting that pull through the right side, or let me see if I can move there you go, the back thigh quad into hip flexor area there. All right, not going to do a ton of shifting around on that one. If you guys want to kind of back off and ease back into it, back off and ease back into it a little bit, that's fine. But not a lot of movement since we're not transitioning, flowing between two different things. And final one is going to be that pigeon stretch. Turning the foot and ankle and shin as perpendicular towards our spine as we can, while still keeping that same front side knee down. Back leg extended, nice and flat behind us, straight line. And I'm just going to try and relax myself down to get that external rotation stretch in the front hip, or in this case, my left hip. Another bonus one we can toss out there if you guys have specifically tight calves from yesterday's workout or just in general, is going to be a calf walkout that we've done plenty of times before in a down dog position. Or possibly something we can toss in there is the up dog stretch on the front side if you wore a vest, held a weight or a weighted backpack, and the spine and the hips are a little tight and tensed up today. So down dog position, I'm going to walk out one, shift into the other and walk that one out. Come down and through, press up into an arch, get a little bit of abdominal stretch, tension lower back, and press back into that down dog before I walk it out again. Remember, when we're doing this, we're not just kind of throwing ourselves back and forth and rushing from one up to a down position. Make sure you are controlling your spine, and you're not going to end up tweaking your lower back because you're trying to drive your chest up and out into that position without controlling the flow.